All right, it is the last day of the weekend, and traditional finance is going to be open pretty soon here. And assuming the S&P and Russell can continue up like I do expect, we might see Bitcoin just continue up as well. We don't need to see big pullbacks here on price. I know there are some imbalances on the chart. We made some inefficiencies with that impulsive move, but when Bitcoin likes to get impulsive, such as back here when it truly likes to escape these ranges, we don't really pull back whatsoever, and we do just see consecutive green candles. So I do expect this time to be no different than our usual range escaping impulsive moves, and I do expect us to escape the range here. Simply the range right now is from 58,200 to 68,300. We do have some big resistance above us, right? So definitely should be watching out for $6,700, right? That is a big point of control within this entire range right here, as well as we have these horizontal and downward sloping support resistance trend lines right there, as well as value area high when we do get up to the top side of this range. But of course, as I keep hounding on all of my videos, the liquidity is sitting above all-time highs. So this is actually the next target for price, in my opinion. I'm very confident we are going to get up there. The big question is, what does price actually do when we get up there? Is it going to be some sort of swing failure pattern before entering the bear market, or can this truly back test and then fly through liquidity? And that's exactly what we want to see, right? We want to see us fly through liquidity if we want to have any chance of $100,000, $200,000 plus on Bitcoin. Usually when it does these range escaping moves, it doesn't really like to find much resistance within them. You can see here, right, we had a daily candle that could have looked like a swing failure pattern of these highs, but you wait a couple of days and you do see that was not an issue. So we'll be patient with it, right? If we see one day that wicks below all-time highs and looks like a swing failure, that doesn't necessarily mean to panic, right? We could easily see that get retraced. So we'll be patient on that. But normally overall, you shouldn't find consecutive resistance when you do break these ranges. We are building a very similar fractal to back in like 2021, and you could argue this was a deviation, a swing failure, and then we actually did continue up afterwards. But this wasn't actually a full grab of liquidity. You see, once we actually grab liquidity, if I do pull just a horizontal ray from this level, once again, some small wicks down on daily time frame, which, that's probably going to happen no matter what. We're probably going to swing fail this initially, but we shouldn't be holding it for consecutive candles, right? If we do see lower highs here on the daily time frame after a swing failure, if we see something more proper, right, this is a very small swing failure, but if we saw something much greater, much more substantial, and then we do see that range acceptance back down below, then it would be a little bit more concerning to me. Of course, you're never going to be able to perfectly predict the charts. It's just taking the probabilities into consideration, and then also you're matching this TA with what sentiment is like in the market. If we do something like this, and right down here everyone is calling for the top already being in, they're getting super bearish, everyone is panic selling once again, then yeah, maybe we do just fractal super cycle activities and we go ahead and bust on up to $1 million Bitcoin. But if everyone starts looking at this fractal and expecting this to happen one-to-one, and we see this sort of price action here on Bitcoin and liquidity does get grabbed, let's pretend liquidity is here, right? If this structure plays out, then this might not hold, right? We got to take this into consideration. A fractal of this, but on a full liquidity grab, could be the top, and this could wrong foot the most amount of market participants because they will expect this to be happening afterwards, and there'll be a lot of FOMO at that level. Of course, sentiment's going to be a big indicator. Whatever meme coin's doing, what is the news headlines looking like? If the general consensus is extremely bullish when we get up here, when the Fed is cutting rates, when we have all these macroeconomic signs that normally mark tops in the market, such as the inverted yield curve crossing back over the zero line, etc., yes, this will be our time to get cautious, but until we get up there, that is definitely the target. So happy days for us. Now I do think the impulsive move could continue, and we don't necessarily have to have any big pullbacks along the way. Now that we got the higher term Bitcoin price action talked about, I do want to jump into the altcoin market a little bit and talk about some shorter term price action. But before I do get into that, I am currently running a promotion for my Crypto Eagles VIP Discord. It's specifically for leveraged trading, and there's only 5 more days left to get 50% off for your first month. It's just $20 a month using code EAGLE. Normally it will be $40, and that is a promotion I'm only putting on right now because it's still kind of an early access build. I'm still working on some of the information within there, such as as the ultimate trading guide. It's like a 100-page long PDF that goes over really everything I know and I think is really necessary for you to be able to become a profitable trader, a successful trader when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto. And there's just a whole bunch of value in that Discord that I really think you can't find anywhere else. I'm trying to make it different than most of your other VIPs. It's not for signals or anything like that. It truly is to help you become a successful trader on your own. Not anything else. We even do VIP meetings. So essentially like this Tuesday, we're all going to be getting together and talking in the VC on Discord. So if you want to go ahead and join us there, learn some stuff about leveraged trading, definitely don't miss out on using that discount down below. Reach out to me if you have any questions about it. Obviously, I'm not a professional trader. I don't claim to be an expert in any of this, but I am using a lot of my personal time and effort to put that stuff together. So that's why I do have to charge for it. I also do like a one-on-one thing with everyone that joins. Of course, it's optional, but that's something big, making sure everyone is on the right track, going over personal strategies, all of the above. Go check it out. Links in the description. Don't want to talk about it for too much longer, especially because I am going to jump into talking about one of my exchange partners. So yeah, sorry about the advertising this morning, but essentially I talked about my partner JumpX previously. I think they're a pretty decent exchange, but I definitely want you guys to go ahead and test it out and let me know how it is, right? Because they're a smaller exchange. They just launched. I want you guys to stress test them. Let me know how support is. Let me know how transfers go. Start trading on there. Let me know what your thoughts are on the exchange. And I forgot to mention in that last video, because they are so new, they're not even on the App Store yet. So what you want to do is click that link in the description, and then once you open it onto Safari, if you are on an Apple device, you go ahead and click kind of the share button at the bottom, and then you want to add that to your home screen to add it as a web app, and that'll work really well for you guys. So just wanted to mention that. But enough talking about the links in the description of my video. Let's get into the Bitcoin price action. Once again, I wanted to cover the majority of the price action at the beginning because, this Saturday there's not really too much else to cover. But let's go ahead and jump in here to the shorter term time frame and talk about why is Bitcoin just continuing to come up here? Are we going to get a pullback, right? We have this big vector to the downside. We have these single prints here on the chart, and while yes, that definitely could get retraced into, I'm 100% not saying to FOMO right now. There is a chance we do just head on up. We have held this value area high very nicely, and we don't have much resistance above us until we do get up to that $67,000 region. So definitely could just continue this impulsive move as I talked about at the beginning of the video, especially if we are sitting up here when the market reopens. We have a CME gap right below us that is going to act as support once again. So we could, just bounce off the CME gap and then head on up. So definitely pretty bullish on price action here and not actually closing out any of my long positions. I am long from the lows, got a lot of longs open down there, and I am taking those all the way to all-time highs. I'm potentially going to take some profit at this 67K region because that is a big point of control, but majority I'm taking straight up to $76,000. And something that makes me feel good about doing that is that we don't have a lot of top longers FOMOing in here, right? Open interest is just trending sideways, very much healthy order flow on the chart right now. Yeah, we got some longs opening over here on Bybit, so certainly, this could get retraced into, but overall it's pretty healthy. It's what you want to see. But could we still have a pretty big flush before continuing on up? And that's actually very likely as well. So I'm not saying that's not going to happen. Just don't be surprised either way. We're really just in the middle of our range right now. It's not as easy to predict what's going to happen as when we were at the lows, and it was pretty obvious this was going to just hold as support because it was clearly holding as support. But just based off of history, if this truly is going to be a range-breaking move, probably not going to find much resistance as we have done in the past. But that's all for Bitcoin. Let's talk about the altcoin market real quick. We jump in here to the hourly time frame, and you can see Total 3 already finding very nice support. We had originally rejected the volume as was expected, but we just wanted to see these higher lows held. We didn't want to get back under value area high. So if I pull a fixed range within here, you'll see value area high comes in right around $580 billion market cap, and we are sitting much higher than that. We actually found support on this low volume area at around $600 billion market cap. So what we want to see now is this volume node that protrudes out here just above that volume gap to flip into support. So let me get this to a bit of a cleaner line here so you can see it better, and we'll jump in here to the 10-minute time frame, and we can see we are sitting right above that level, and we're coming down to potentially backtest it. So obviously this just depends on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin has a big flush, altcoins probably have a little bit of a flush too, but if Bitcoin does continue the impulsive move, probably going to flip that into support, and we're probably going to have the energy at that point to break through this $620 billion volume level that is very important here on the charts. We flip that into support, and your next target is most likely all-time highs on Total 3, and all-time highs on Total 3 is my base case. So let's see if we do see this altcoin season beginning. In my opinion, we are finally at that point. We're finally at the point where altcoins should start outperforming Bitcoin and potentially giving some extremely good gains, such as 5-10x's across the board for many of your good altcoins, similar to how we did back at the end of 2023, beginning of 2024. A lot of this euphoric price action I do expect to kind of repeat here on the charts, which would land us right back up at this $1 trillion market cap, potentially even an all-time high on Total 3. But as I've been saying, I'm not super convinced that we are going to go into price discovery on this chart. I would be looking for more of retracements, so simply, volume levels as I have right there, or fibs. I think, anywhere from this golden pocket to 886 is where we'll be looking to de-risk in the market, potentially just based on what euphoria sentiment is like. But yeah, that's going to be all for today's video. If you do have any questions about anything I talked about, or just want to join the community for this channel, go ahead and join my Discord. That's the top link in the description down below. If you do leverage trade and want some good value when it does come to that, and want to check out my VIP Discord, that's the second link in the description down below. Become a Crypto Eagle for 50% off right now. That's limited time for just 5 more days, so don't miss out on that. And then also I have a bunch of exchange partners linked below, so definitely go ahead, decide for yourself what exchange you want to go with. I think they're all pretty good. Some of them are non-KYC, non-VPN, if you are interested in that. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.